You alright?
Hey, what's going on? Okay, how you doing?
Safety first, dears. And then, of course, utter mayhem.
You must understand, death is the true
Crazy
test.
right now. Going. Yeah. It's not necessarily crazy busy. It's just what it is. It's a new.
Anyone else wielding the unfathomable cosmic power of a singularity?
Like I heard today.
Anyone? Just
Contact
check.
with the prime. So I was going to definitely headshot about.
Surprise.
Good.
Hold on to your belts, darlings. Fancy a wee stroll this way?
Bird's eye.
They really don't know how to do what they're trying to do.
Contact with hostile.
They just really confused. That's all. Like, one minute they want one thing, and it's really not us. It's really on a higher management level. They don't know how to implement it, what their vision is, because the reality of it is the network engineers and the upper management, the upper management are trying to do things a certain way. And the network engineers are saying you can't do it that way, and so they're at a butt of heads on that because upper management trying to be upper management is saying we want to do it this way, and the network engineer saying you can't do it that way because this is classified. Saying IC community is classified. Can't do things the way you do in the commercial world. So it's a big situation with that going on at the job in our meetings. You know what I'm saying? So, and then where all that falls down to us because we the ones have to go survey and install whatever they come up with. So, it's just tough as far as that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I mean, um, it's, it's definitely frustrating, but, you know, I've been here 18 years now, officially, so I understand how it goes. It's just a tough situation right now. Oh, I wanted to tell you too, as far as what you talking about working extra hours and stuff. Um, the I don't know if you know this, but because I know you probably seen, a month or two that you seen my hours are not meeting, the monthly hours. And I was surprised you didn't call me about that, but I wanted to tell you is that at on this particular contract, I don't know if you know who Bill Kitchen is. I don't know if you heard that name before or not, but yeah. So he, sat us down one day and I was telling him that we have to meet a certain amount of hours per month, called for what I said about the contract. He said, yeah, that's cool and all, but you have to. They want to make sure that there is, in a way, stuff to do, but the reality of it is there's not necessarily. We are field engineers, so we don't have like an hour based things to do. It depends on our particular project. So I try to explain to him is that, you know, we was told we can make up our hours, which we can, but he's telling us, we can't we can't necessarily, well, he's basically saying they don't care if we lose out on money. You know what I'm saying? As far as an employee, as far as a worker. He's like, I'm just telling you how the government thinks. They don't care if you lose out on money. He said this probably a month and a half ago. We had a sit down meeting. So I asked him, I said, well, maybe you need to have a sit down talk with my company and y'all, because if you're saying I don't need to make up those hours unless it's, extremely necessary, because we technically don't have all the work. Now, I will say this, work has picked up tremendously as far as how many days we are consistently doing work. It's picked up tremendously since then. But I wanted to tell you this because I don't want you to just see that I'm missing hours, on a month, and I'm throwing that habitually on purpose or negligently. I would say I'm not. It's just that I only have certain days they want me versus how it used to be. I can just work 12s. You know what I'm saying? He thinks that I'm getting overtime, or it looks like I'm getting overtime, but the reality of it is, I try to explain to him, is that I'm not getting overtime. I'm making up hours from the week before. And so he kind of understood that, he said, I get it, you know what I'm saying? You know, he understood it, but at the same time, it was just it's just a rough situation. Now, I will say to that, like I said, work has picked up tremendously, and what I tried to do, Terry, on my end, is that to appease both sides, both you in a way and him in a way, I try to make sure I make up my hours on days we actually have survey. So, but a lot of times that can change, it can get canceled. And like I said, I still try to work those hours as much as I can. It's just, I want to let you know it's not as easy as, it once was, as far as, because he told me a new lady took over who does the time, who basically watches the time, and she's a real stickler and want to ask why about everything. When I told him that, we're not getting overtime. Because in his mind, she said she's looking at it like that. But I'm like, if you do the time, sir, I wish I didn't say like that to him. I'm just saying, if you do the time, sir, you can look at it and see that last week I worked 32. This week I worked 46. That tell you is making up, hours from last week. But it's just a rough situation. I wanted to tell you that, because I didn't get a chance to tell you that, because I didn't know if you've been paying attention, to that. Now, I will say this also as well. 5 members from my family has had COVID recently. My family just got over COVID. Like my whole household caught COVID last week. My entire household. My wife, yeah, last week. My wife caught it. This last past, no, I'm sorry, the week before last. I'm gonna get to what I'm about to say in a second. The week before last, my son caught it, my wife caught it, then my youngest baby son caught it. So that I was taking care of them. I took off one day to take care of them, and I was taking care of them the whole week. Then this particular week, my brother, his wife, his baby, newborn baby, and my mother caught COVID. So I had to take my mom to the hospital. What was it? Thursday, because she was having a tough time breathing, and she was trying to take herself to the hospital. And my mother's 65 years old. So I left my house and took her to Kaiser and Tyson's on Thursday. So I had to miss a day. So for the last 2 weeks, I've been dealing with my immediate family, almost everybody, but two of my sons had COVID. Wife, mother, brother, his kid, my wife, and two of my sons had COVID. So it's been a crazy. But then I told you the month before that, a month ago, I had COVID. So it was a lot of stuff going on why I had to miss some time. You know what I'm saying? So I tried not to because he started making he didn't try to make it seem it was a big deal, but I've been long enough to know it can be made a big deal, and I'm not trying to get set up on both ends. I'm not trying to, because I have no problem working 12. Well, I take that back. I do have a problem working 12s, but I would do it to appease, our hours. But he was making it seem like I really want to work 12. I don't want to work 12. So, if don't want me to work 12, okay, because I don't feel like working 12. But I don't want to. He wanted to kind of spread it out. But the thing is, if you spread it out, it takes longer to do. Now we working on a week and a half. I do 10s. I got to work 2 weeks worth of over. You know what I'm saying? Working past 8 hours. I'd rather just get it 2 days out the way, whatever. But I just wanted to make you aware of that. You know what I'm saying? So if you see my hours and you be like, okay, he missing. He didn't get a chance. He didn't make up his hours last month. What's going on? This, that, and the other. That's exactly why. What's going on?
Okay. Well, I mean, we do prefer, if we with making up your hours, you have to take time off, and the customer allows for and has the work for you to make up those hours. That's great. But if that's not to accrued PTO.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
It has to make up the hours.
Okay.
If that's not something that is going to work out, just use your accrued PTO. We're fine with it.
Yeah.
We don't. It's really about what's going to work with the contract.
Right.
Making sure that we're meeting the requirements, and and that you're getting the hours that you should. Now, if they tell you, no, we don't want you to work, 40 hours a week, take this day, they also don't have for you to do. Be sure and write that in your time card, telling us that the customer, requested you not work. There was no work to do, or no work to do for the customer.
Yeah.
So that we know that.
Right.
And I did notice that I think you were 18 hours short in September, and I do keep an eye on if I haven't said anything, and because I know there's a lot going on, and I knew that you had COVID, but I didn't.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Yep. So it's definitely that situation, but I just wanted to make sure you knew that it wasn't a situation on my end. I just want to make sure I told you that so you know for my list that hey, that's what happened. Because I know he probably didn't reach out to y'all, because I told him, I was like, if that's the case, y'all can have y'all a talk between y'all to see what's the best way to do this. Because what I'm saying, the reason why I have to work extra hours because I don't have PTO, and we have to accrue it. And with me having to take, contractually wise with the contract I worked out with the company, I had to take less PTO accruance, and it's just crazy. So I rely on the fact that once again, I took less because, there was no problem with me working 12. All of a sudden, it became a problem after I've already signed this contract saying, I don't really need as much accrual. And it wasn't like I was getting a lot of accrued time anyway, but I was like, I don't need as much because, we're able to make up hours. And I still think we are able to make up hours. It's just, like I said, it's not as easy as just, okay, I can just work 2 12s today. I got to kind of split it up with, okay, this week we got 2 surveys. So on this week, I'm going to make it up on these 2 days, just for because technically we have work to do 24/7 because we're field engineers. You know what I'm saying? It's not a case of, necessarily we need to be assigned something because we are working technically every day on on this contract. So, I just try to do it that way so if it's ever looked at or he thinks that she's just really stickler about that, she can see, okay, he stayed on a day where he has a real assignment that she could see, basically. An assignment, okay, they assigned us this, that, and the other, and so he worked late that day. So I just did it just to save face for both myself and the company, so that there don't be no slack on that. But that's what that's where I'm at with that. But, yeah.
Okay. Well, if we need, you think we need to talk to Mr. Kitchen, and tell him kind of how we can work it, and really the time policy that can make up the hours is solely, it's an option for you. It's solely